Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order. At this time, we'll go ahead and take a moment of silence. Okay. Public comment. Don't look like nobody's signed up. It isn't too late if anybody want to speak. Alrighty. We'll move on to approve the minutes from April. Do I have any questions on the minutes? I get a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
All righty. Mr. Owen's going to make a motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Durham's going to second it. All in favor to approve the minutes as written? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? All right, the ayes have it. Mr. Owen, can I go ahead and get you to sign that, put it to the side, sir, so we can get that taken care of? Okay, next thing we're gonna look at is look at the financials. At this time in our grant fund, we have $8,000. The city fire department is $27,001. The general fund is $219,822. Wastewater is $5,675. Shattered Dreams is $2,028. Police training is $4,560. The sinking fund now has $66,000.48. The water tower fund now has $57,780. $57,780. And then our CD has $150,000 gaining interest. We have a savings account of the fire department, it's $2,900. And then we have another savings. What's the second savings account, Tracy?
It has been set up before we started.
Gotcha, $6,105. And then we have
Wait, 6,100 was the building. The other we had 5,000 and 98,000.
Gotcha, that's why they're the same one. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so the building fund has $6,105 in the savings account portion, and another CD set up gaining interest of $98,000. So that puts together $104,105 for the building fund. So we're moving nicely on that. I will say we will have some expenses coming up pretty soon on several things that we're working on. We developed a leak in ground storage, and so we had to cut that floor up, and we found the leak. The leak was a small 1-inch pipe that went over to the chlorinator machine, so it was coming up through the crack because it busted underneath the concrete. So, which is great. That was the best case scenario we would ever thought about. Definitely not the worst case scenario. We'll have some expense on that, and then super excited to say we'll have a little bit of expense on the generator. Emergency generator is now installed. We've got propane going to it, so they will be out to do a test run and give us the final thumbs up for it to be ready to be put in use. So that's been a long time coming. And then we will continue. I'm not sure if y'all seen it over there. We'll continue to put a fence around it That's what those poles are standing there for, put a roof on it, and cage it in with a service door. So we'll get that taken care of. And then our last part of bringing the city up on the wells electronically will be, hopefully should be finished this next month, right, Tracy? He's almost done. He has everything. All he has to do is do a little bit of connectivity, right? Yeah. And then well 3 will be done, and then all of them will be connected. And then we'll talk about some other expenses that we're going to talk about. That's part of the packet. But those are all things we've known about except for the issue of the well. But other than that, that's all the other stuff that we already known about. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the financials as presented?
I'm gonna go ahead and go out with bang.
All righty. All right, I got a motion. Do I have a second? Oh, I thought you were the motion. What did you say?
Oh, I was the motion? I can't second it too.
He just got Galen to go out with a bang.
Oh, I thought you
Want
said.
Galen
you do
too much.
it. Okay, I got you.
I'd like to make a motion.
All right. Mr. Owens can make a motion to approve the financials. He's done a lot of, he's got to see a lot of financials, and so this will be the last one he has to worry about, but you'll be able to see all the other ones because they'll be posted on the internet, sir.
All right.
You'll be able to continue to watch it. Okay, then I got a motion by Mr. Owen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I got a second. All in favor, approve the financials as written, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? All right. Unanimous moving forward. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do oath of office. Before we do the oath of office, I want to thank Mr. Owen for his support for the city. He's done a lot of he's been on the school board. Galen, how long have you been with the city council? Since 2000?
I don't know, maybe 10 years. I'm not certain. That's right.
10 years plus, probably. So we greatly appreciate you for that. The City of Kress is better because of you. You've got to see a lot of stuff between now and where we're at now. So I'm sure you've enjoyed that journey.
Yes.
Can you share anything with the community?
I'd just like to thank the community for having me. Like I say, we've come a long ways. I have to thank Johnny for really saving our city. Tracy, David, volunteers at the fire department, the city workers, all these people that stand here beside me. It's been a pleasure working with them. We're going the right direction.
Thank you, Mr. Owen. Thank you very much. And thank you for the kind words. It's people. I've been blessed to be able to surround myself with great people to make these things happen. We have a great city council. Definitely David stepping up where he stepped up, Tracy coming in, and we're not here for the pay. We're definitely not here for the pay. So thank you very much. All righty. At this point, we will move forward and move on to the oath of office. Ms. Buskey, we are super excited to see you back. We're going to go ahead and get you taken care of so the community can see their new panel that's going to be going on for the next year at least. Okay?
I'll go
So
slow.
slow.
Okay. So, go ahead and repeat after me. I,
I,
Delane Buskey, do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I have not directly or indirectly
that I have not directly or indirectly
paid, offered, or promised to pay,
paid, offered, or promised to pay,
contributed, or promised to contribute
contributed, or promised to contribute
any money or things of value
any money or things of value
or promised any public office
or promised any public office
or employment
or employment
for the giving or withholding
for the giving or withholding
of a vote at the election
at the vote of the election
at which I was elected,
at which I was elected,
or as a reward to secure
or as a reward to secure
my appointment or confirmation,
my appointment or confirmation,
which the case may be.
which the case may be.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. We got one more. And we'll get that one. We'll get that one signed and we'll get it notarized. Okay. Now that was what we did there with the statement of officer. Now we'll do the oath of office. Okay. In the name and by the authorization of the state of Texas, I, Elaine Buskey, do solemnly swear
Solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office
that I will faithfully execute the office
of City Council
of City Council
of the state of Texas, City Council of Kress, Texas,
of Kress, Texas,
of the United States,
of the United States,
and will do the best of my ability to preserve,
and will do the best of my ability to preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and
the
defend
constitutional laws of the United States
the constitutional laws of the United States
and of this state, so help me God.
and of this state, so help me God.
Fantastic. Congratulations. I'm very excited to see you back. All righty. Go ahead and let her take her seat. And if you would hold on to that, so you notarize. All right, Mr. Durham. Back to come up next. Okay, we're gonna do your statement of officer. Okay.
Into the table to the
I, Kelly Durham,
I, Kelly Durham,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I have not directly or indirectly
that I have not directly or indirectly
paid, offered, or promised to pay,
paid, offered, or promised to pay,
contributed, or promised to contribute
contributed, or promised to contribute
any money or things of value,
any money or things of value,
and promised any public office
and promised any public office
or employment
or employment
for the giving or withholding of a vote
for the giving or withholding of a vote
at the election
at the election
at which I was elected,
at which I was elected,
or as a reward to
Or-
secure
or as a reward to secure
my appointment or confirmation,
my appointment or confirmation,
whichever the case may be, so help me God.
whichever the case may be, so help me God.
Fantastic. Under the penalties of perjury, I declare that I have
Under the penalties of perjury, I declare that I have
read and foregoing statement, and that the facts stated herein are true.
and have read and noted the facts in this statement are true.
Very good. All right, next thing to do, we're going to do the oath of office. Okay? All righty. In the name
In the name
and by the authority of the state of Texas,
and by the authority of the state of Texas,
I, Kelly Durham,
I, Kelly Durham,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
execute the duties
execute the duties
of the city city council of the City of
the
Kress
City Council of the City of Kress
of the state of
of the
Texas,
state of Texas,
and will do the best
and will do the best
of my ability to preserve,
to my ability to preserve,
protect,
protect,
defend the Constitution
and defend the
and
Constitution
laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state, so help me God.
and of this state, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Sir.
Here you go. You'll hold on to that, Tracy. All righty, Dane, are you ready?
I'm excited.
Did you? I guess I should have put all three. I could have did that. Put all three of them up there.
I was gonna say, we did it all together.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. What should we just do it over there?
No, leave it alone.
All righty, sir, we're going to do your statement of officer first. I, Dane Sizemore,
I, Dane
do
Sizemore,
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I have not directly or indirectly
that I have not directly or indirectly
paid, offered, or promised to pay,
paid, offered, or promised to pay,
contributed, or promised to contribute
contributed, or promised to contribute
any money or things of value,
any money or things of value,
or promised any public office
or promised any public office
or employment for the giving
or employment for the giving
or withholding of a vote
or withholding of a vote
at the election at which
at the election at which
I was elected,
I was elected,
or as a reward
or as a
to
reward
secure my appointment or confirmation,
to secure my appointment or confirmation,
whichever the case may be, so help me God.
whichever the case may be, so help me God.
Under the penalty of perjury,
Under the
I declare
penalties
that I
of
have read
perjury, I declare that I have read
the foregoing statement
the foregoing statement,
and that the facts stated herein are true.
and the facts here are stated true.
All right. Next
Stated are true.
thing we'll do, we'll go on to the oath of office. In the name
In the name
and by the authority of the state of Texas,
by the authority of the state of Texas,
I, Dane
I,
Sizemore,
Dane
do
Sizemore,
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
of City Council of the City of Kress
of the City Council of the City of Kress
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will do the best of my ability
and will do the best of my ability
to preserve, protect, and defend
to preserve, protect, and defend
constitutional laws
constitutional laws
of the United States
of the United
and
States
of this state,
and of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Excited you're back, sir. And keep that and get with Tracy at the end. Yeah. You know, when you keep a city council together as we have over the several years we've been here, that is a sign that the community is happy, that we're going in the right direction. So congratulations to each and every one of you guys, even the ones that was not up for election this time. They was up for re-election last time and was re-elected. So congratulations, and look forward to another year. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we need to do an election of Mayor Pro Tem, Pro Term, whatever you want to call it, Pro Term. So I would like to make a suggestion. Unless anybody just wants to jump up and say me, and don't sound like nobody's doing that yet, I would like to recommend Ms. Kabusky for the fact that she's been around. She's done it a long time. Or anybody that has any admiration of jumping in there as mayor anytime soon. Anybody that'd like to do that might want to raise your hand. But that's my suggestion.
Come on, guys.
Y'all talk about it.
I think Kelly or Dane should do it. Let me get my feet wet a little bit.
Wet. It's like riding a bicycle.
Glenda?
Okay. I did get a nomination of Dane. I do have it seconded. All in favor of Dane being pro tem mayor? Aye.
Aye.
Did y'all hear that train?
What'd you just say? You said aye? You said aye? Okay, so everybody, okay, anonymous. Okay, anybody opposed, nay?
Hey.
Okay, looks like the ayes have it. Now, for a serious question, Mr. Dane, do you accept that position?
How many times do you have to do that in the last 2 years? Game, where are you? I remember you doing it once. Maybe I won't have to do it now.
All righty, then we're gonna move forward. Dane is a new mayor pro term. Okay, the next thing we have is consider approving emergency siren repairs. This has been a long process, and it's an expensive process to move forward. There is a grant out there that we have started to file for. Now, I was told by PCRP that is a 1.5 to 2 year grant. It takes a while to get through there. So in the meantime, I don't feel like I want to roll the dice for another 1.5 to 2 years. I know that siren was sitting on the ground for quite some time before we put it in the air, and that helps. But if you're on the backside of town, either side, you can't hear it. Now, we do have 3 sirens. We got one over there, right there beside your house, Kelly, and then we have one over here by Jeremy Bechtel's house off of Moore Street. Now, the one that's by your house, it's toast. It's burned up and it cannot be repaired. Okay? So we did buy one to replace that one. That was about $2,000, and it was a pre-owned one from back in the day. So we did get to hear it before we purchased it. It was recommended by the company that's helping us install these. So we feel it will be a good opportunity for now. We're still going to fill out the grant. We're still going to move forward with the grant. But in the meantime, hopefully this will suffice for us until then. The siren that we just purchased should reach out anywhere between 1.5 miles to 2 miles. So hopefully around here it should work real well. That will be placed over there beside your house. I don't have to vote now. No. We'll talk about that.
I'll put it somewhere else, or not having it on play.
We'll talk about that in just a second, because there's some really exciting stuff about the button pushing. There's some exciting stuff about the button pushing. Now, how all these sirens worked, when they were wired up through telephone system. So it literally went from pole to pole to pole to pole to pole to get back here. Okay? So, needless to say, the reason why the one over Moore isn't working anymore, I'm not sure if y'all seen all those wires that hangs down, and then we'll have to go, we'll cut them and roll them up, because we haven't had a phone system in the area for I don't know how many years. But as they get tore up, they get taken down. Same way with cable. Cable's been up for years and years and years. There's a lot of poles that's in town that we're going to have to look at and start taking some down with the help of the electric company, because they don't want to start cutting, because some of the wires are connected to their poles. And they said you'd be surprised, you start cutting, how much weight it puts, and you could take out a bunch of poles. So they have helped us in the past when a wire has came down. They've taken a bucket truck over there and they've helped us clip it, cut it down, and change up some stuff. So we can't just start going through there and start cutting them down if they are connected to a power pole. The ones that isn't connected to a power pole, that's something we can probably handle. But, so therefore, it's going to take some new communication. So the research shows, in my opinion, the best way for this is it'll be some radios connected to each siren. And then there'll be software that will come back to the city, and we will actually be able to access it, and certain individuals will be able to access it through their phone. So great technology for that. You know, it's always been a concern if certain people are out of town that has access to City Hall, how would we push the button? Now, we do have the one at the fire station too, but if they're already all out working a disaster already, and then we need to push it, they're not going to be in town to go push it either. So that's a possibility of being a huge issue. So this proposal, now the cost of 3 brand new ones, I believe it was like $36,000, roughly $30-something thousand. The cost of these are going to be and we're gonna be able to use a lot of we'll be able to use the radio software that we're installing right now. So the next section, when we do get the grant, it won't need to be for $36,000 because this is gonna cost roughly $9,000 for the hookups. Okay, because we end up buying another temporary siren already. Okay, so what we're going to be looking at is for labor and material, not to exceed $9,000. That'll just give them some room to when they start going up in the air and start connecting and finding issues, how to resolve those issues inside that budget.
So that's for the siren and the radio.
The siren was 2,000. How much, Tracy? 2,500, 2,600, 2,100, or right at $2,000. That was separate from this.
Oh, the one we already bought, yeah.
Yeah.
But the new equipment would include radios and.
No, so well, we wouldn't need radios because we'd be able to use this. So we'd only, and that'd be the good thing of requesting the grant. They're not going to have to pay the full amount because we've already paid for the software connection point. Now they'd come in and I mean, if we're approved, replace the sirens parts with new sirens. That's what we would be asking for on the grant. We wouldn't need to do the radios and software because this will be able to do that.
I think they can fix one over here on Ward Street.
We've already tested that. So it does work, just has no communication. How long? I don't know. But as of when they tested to verify that, it worked.
So how do we access that one?
It will be connected through the radios and communication.
As of right now, we don't,
You can.
we find that.
Yeah.
The only one that's gonna work is this one.
We need to get it connected as soon as we can.
We've had some crazy weather. I just think and continue to roll the dice on that. This should definitely help. I mean, when we did those tests, sure, you can hear it all part, but just about every part of town I could hear it, the main one, but not when you walk inside. Not if you got the TV on. Not if, if you got great insulation in your house and sound barrier, you're not going to hear it. I'm not sure how much you'll hear it. The other one, really good sound barrier stuff, but your opportunities will be a lot better. Anybody have any other questions? If not, I'll consider a motion to approve the proposal to repair the sirens with new communication. Okay. I got a motion and a second. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay? All right, the ayes have it. We will move forward with that. Okay. Now, for some other opportunities. The first thing I'd like to get into some structures to consider. We're going to be replacing two. We've already voted on three others. So we'll be moving forward with those 3 others. But I'm really excited to remove 2 from the list. That 2-story house, what's the address? Oh, we didn't write the address
Main
down.
Street.
Yeah.
And then on Main.
Yeah, it's on Main Street. That Mr. Lawson's, which Lawson?
Carl.
No, his brother, or grandson? Grandson.
Gary?
Carrie. So Carl Lawson lived in it first? Okay, and then Carrie Todd lived in it, right? As you see on the black and white picture, I'm not sure really why I printed out black and white. That has been purchased, and they've already put a roof on it, and moving forward, doing a lot of cleanup. So that's super exciting because every house we can save is an investment to Kress, and it's also income and the ability to put another family in it to go to our schools and invest in our community. So I'm super excited that we did have somebody that chose to take a house and turn it into more history of our community. And the next picture there is also a picture of a house that was on our list to take down. This was over on Main Street and the end of Paul Street. So, but the owner has taken that down piece by piece, a little bit at a time, and it has been removed. So, guys, this is a huge step in the right direction, that we do have the community understanding the importance of cleaning up our community and making changes. And the fun thing about it is most of them are excited to do it. They are super extremely excited to do it and be part of change. Okay, so to replace the other 2, we have several to choose from. So 509 West First. This one right here. Gentlemen. This one. So this entire house is in really bad shape. It has a look. It appears to me to be an old basement or cellar of some sort that's open, and no telling what's living down there. This one did go up to a tax sale, and I was really excited to see the REIT bought it originally, and they were going to clean it up for the best of the community. And then it went back, the individual bought it back and took it out of the tax sale. So now the individual owns it back. So hopefully that was a sign of reinvestment into the community, and hopefully by a little bit of nudging that we're going to be asked to do, it will be brought up and safer for our community. Anybody have any questions on that one?
What are these numbers here on the top?
That's what they are appraised for. So that specific house right there was appraised for is on the appraisal for $16,390. So with that said, to be very transparent, the money that we would lose if it became to the point where we'd have to tear it down would be the taxes we get off of $16,390. So there's a flip side to that. We clean up community or be greedy and let it continue to look like it does and not figure that out. Does that make sense? So, of course, when we make decisions, we're making decisions for the best of the community, not what's best for our bottom dollar of financially. Okay, the next one is just right down the street from that one, 405 West First. Now that one's appraised for $37,000. It's, I'm sure, well, it will be on the list when Texas Community Group comes through and does their inspection, which I'll talk about that here in a few minutes. It's dangerous to walk through the front yard.
That one's close to my house, right?
Yep,
That's the one that where the skunks are living.
yep,
That's the one that what?
where the skunks are
Skunks are
living.
living. This is the one right
What
beside
took so
Valley.
long to get this one on the list?
Right there by David.
Because this is our second batch.
Like I said, what took it so long to get this one on the list?
Dane, this is the one. Dane, this is the one you recommended, right? Yeah, because the city council member recommended it to be on there.
Well, I don't know, but that percent that,
This is the one you said you had your eye on.
I was on
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I was thinking about,
And we all start with, in my opinion, we all start with, what's the one that we hear about the most? We start there. What's the one that the community wants done first? We start there. So, does that answer your question? It has fallen to, let's see, we've gotten 4 done so far. So it's gotten to the 5th, 6th, 7th, or whatever worst one of what the community has reached out for. Okay, the next one is 201 Paul Avenue. Yeah, you see the steeple, it's right north of the church.
It's that trailer house.
Yeah, that trailer house. Now, I will say, there's a family member of the person that owns this that has attempted and is still attempting, because they called me to ask for some help to find out how they can get this put in their name so they can do something about it. So he is working with the family member to do this. But it's still
Paul
moving
Street.
forward. Yes,
The Paul Street or?
Paul Street. Yeah. Now, I'll say another thing with the one you asked about, ma'am, 405 West First, mail continues to be returned on this one. So this one is going to be a little more challenging, because when they have to go after individuals that can't get a hold of, or has a long list of heirs, it takes longer. I will say that.
I think,
But if it's nice and simple where it's in somebody's name and they can just,
I think the neighbors have been trying to get a hold of the owners of this house. Because they were wanting to buy it, but they can't never get a hold of it.
yeah, it's, and the mail keeps coming back to them.
Yeah. You don't know who it belongs to. You just know that,
I think, well,
I sure
what'd you say?
Joe McClanahan used to live in there long ago, and then they sold it. He moved when his wife passed away. Then he moved, and I don't know who got it after them, and I don't know if that's the last person. But he might accidentally. No.
It's on CAD. I mean, I just don't remember the name, but
So they didn't still have to be purchasing for paying a lot.
they don't lose their property. They are just held accountable to bring the property up to standards. Now, if they don't bring the property up to standards and it's bad enough, then that's when we'll have to tear it down like we did down there. Okay. So to give me some direction, the other houses has been submitted and starting to move forward on. So to give me some direct, and I do believe it's possible that we'll be able to do all three of these. But I'll find out if they'll let us do all three of these. But I do need to break it down to two just in case, and approve all three if they'll let us do all three of them, added to the other ones we have. So I guess the best way I'm going to do this, I'm just going to go ahead and ask, and you guys will have a couple opportunities to vote them down to the point, and that's the only ones we have left. But I'll ask for a vote per the address I have been questioned the most about out of these three, and then we can go forward from there. Okay, so does anybody want to have any extra communication on 509 West First Street? Or feel that this one should not be considered?
That's the one that you rebought and they
Correct.
wanted it back, got it back.
Correct.
Haven't done anything since then.
No.
Yeah.
8 months ago?
I don't know how long the building.
You only have a certain amount of time, don't you, to do that?
Yeah.
Either way, they have all the time before that.
Okay, so 405 would have been the second one. Does anybody want to have any more communication on that one? Is there any reason why it should not be considered? No? Okay, then the third one would be 201 Paul. Anybody want to have any more communication on that one? Or any reasons why you feel like it should not be considered?
So are we trying to say which one's first, second, and third, or what?
Well, that's what I'm fixing to do next. And then I'm just gonna put them in order and see if maybe we want to have a conversation on the order. If we all agree that these are going to be, if we get 3 spots, all 3 of these are going in. If we only get 2 spots, now we're going to open that conversation.
No, I think the one on Paul Street sounds like it has a glimmer of hope to be somebody that wants to do something about it, so.
I have that on my third too. You know what you're saying? That should be the last
Yeah,
one.
that's my last
Okay.
one.
Any other communication on that?
I actually went to go see this one at Pom Pom because I was thinking about purchasing it. And it needs work to the inside, but it's got good windows and everything, so. That would be my last choice.
Any other communication on that?
I think 405 West First should be first, 509 West First second, and then 201 Paul. Taking consideration.
Okay.
They
So
have
the cool
family
thing-
members. They have a family member that is looking into it.
Yes. Well, but I'll tell you, the family member's looking in tearing it down. I mean, to be honest with you. The family member's actually looking to tear it down because that trailer will be a challenging issue to try to bring up to standards. But I agree. And the crazy thing about it, not the crazy thing about it, but the unique thing about it, the first two is equal 1 and 1, really in a 1 and 2, because we have 2 spots. So if everybody agrees with that, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask for a motion to, I'm going to ask for a motion to consider all 3. And after we do that, I'm going to ask for a motion to consider them in order. Okay, so can I have a motion to approve 201 Paul Avenue, 509 West First, and 405 West First to be added to the list for them to work on condemnation? Okay, I got a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, I got a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Any opposed, nay? All right. Unanimous vote. We're moving forward to those 3. Next thing, I'm looking for a motion to approve 509 West First and 405 West First as the 2 to replace the 2 that was removed, and then adding 201 if we can add another one in this session. So I got a motion to approve that. I'll make it. Okay. I got a motion. I got a second. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay? All righty. Moving forward on that. Okay, a few things. Fire station repairs and costs. So we are going to have to replace. So we are going to have to pay for some replacing of decking. Insurance won't pay for the replacing of some decking. It's going to be roughly around $5,000 to $7,000 that we will have to pay for it. Other than that, they will be coming in and replacing numerous trusses across the top before they can deck it. Okay. The brick work, it should be starting within the next 2 or 3 weeks. They feel like they've found some brick that'll match. So they'll have to do the veneer brickwork first. And then after that, they'll get the trusses put in, and then they'll move forward to the roof. Okay. Our garage door opener did go down that the insurance company is paying for. We did order one. It's in stock. It's ready to be installed. Choosing not to do that yet until they get the roof done. Because how that garage door opener also, where it connects to the building, has popped out. So if we install this one until they get the other fixed, if it rains and it takes it out, or if that takes it out, we just need to be patient and get that figured out first. Because the insurance ain't gonna pay for another one if that goes out and we install it too early. So we are dealing with what we have at the moment. I want to make it very clear. Some people don't understand how the insurance is working. The city is not getting any extra money from the insurance company. And we chose to do it this way. They are direct paying the contractors for the work. So the city don't have to track it, don't have to be responsible for the money in and out. It'll come straight from TML Insurance, straight to the contractors. We are using a program very similar to Buyboard that enables us to use pre-qualified vendors through the program. So we don't have to worry about any issues with that. The work does come with a 5-year workmanship warranty as well as 5-year product warranty. With that, you won't find, I think you'd be hard pressed to find any installer that's going to give you 5 years on a roof. Okay, so that'll be really good. I will say we did receive $7,500 for flood damage that we will have to use to redo that office. The office is toast. It's we do have some the computers and everything covered up, but it is absolutely gone. So that's the only money that we have received. The money for wind, we have received nothing for wind. We did have $1,000 deductible that has been taken out. So that they took that out of the flood damage money. So the city is not getting any extra money for that repair. Does anybody have any questions on that? Now, I will say the cost to repair this thing is getting pretty close to $100,000. So the only silver lining, well, a couple of silver linings. For one, nobody got hurt when it took place. The next thing, that building at least will get a little bit of an update to hold us over until we can do something with our fire department, which we're still waiting for the state to pull tanks. Hopefully that's coming along, and hopefully we get that done soon. But we're still waiting on that.
Do we think the building would be beneficial or anything once we get the new built?
Oh, absolutely. So right now the city has their shop is a metal building that's not even really a metal building. It's what kind of metal that is? Corrugated, yeah. It's
Corrugated tin.
yeah, corrugated tin, dirt, floor. So be able to turn that into a real maintenance building, to be able to actually put parts and everything in there that we're not worried about somebody, huh?
How's the sewer machine?
Yeah, be able to house a sewer machine in the winter. They'll be able to do a lot of things in there. So it'll be really, really, really good for the community to have that building in better shape. So yes, that'll be really, really, really good for the city.
$7,000 investment on the roof deck would be beneficial down the road.
Oh, for sure. The cost we only have two choices: to destroy the building, or to pay the $7,000 to keep it up to what we need to. You can't. Heck, you can't even go buy a little bitty temporary building from Lowe's or Home Depot for $7,000. Much less a brick building with concrete that's going to be there for a long
You
time.
have a policy structure for using it for shelter for all your equipment.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it has, did I understand that it has a basement?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. So, since I've been elected, I have had the question several times, hey, now will y'all start allowing people to use that city basement? And I told them, I said, that basement's probably maybe 12 by 12. Oh, everybody always talked that it was bigger. It's super small. And then when it rains, it floods. So you probably don't want to be down there for too long. So no, it's super small, but yes, it is a basement.
You'd be surprised how many people you can get in the 12 by 12 when the tornado came.
Oh, sure.
They said there was 38 people in one over there in Evansville in 1963 when that tornado.
Oh wow. If they just lift that gate, that door to get in it, it's pretty heavy. But anyways, moving forward, does anybody have any other questions on the fire station repairs and costs? We are still hauling off the metal roofing. We should have a last batch out probably Monday, and we're taking that to scrap, and that will pay us scrap money for that. So update on the grant for the water meters. That's slowly but surely coming along. We've learned a whole lot about our community water system. You know, we thought all the meters, because we've been told this for so much, that all of them are 5/8 meters. So they're not. Well, most of them are, but there's a bunch of them out there that's 1 inch or bigger. Huh? Well, 3/4, 5/8. Yeah. So, but there's a lot of them out there that's 1 inch or bigger. More than we realized even was 2 inch. So we will have an extra cost coming at us to finish as people move in or turn some of these houses into places of residence. We will have costs to add those meters into the system. We had a choice. We could have backed off a fire hydrant and instead to be able to afford the extra meters and put all new meters in, but chose not to go that route because the fire hydrants are so old. That is what's going to help us with our ratings to keep our insurance down when we're showing that to what's the company called, Tracy, that's doing that for us? Yeah, but there's okay. Well, what's the department I meant? But when they do those ratings, they take a lot of that stuff into consideration. So we're going to keep that in line and make sure we have some new fire hydrants over here versus new fire hydrants over there. We're doing 6. 3's going to be on this side of town. 3's going to be on that side of town. So as people move in, we'll buy meters and install them as time comes. And with that, we'll talk more about it on the next board meeting. But we're going to have to figure out how to align our water bill with billing more efficiently. What we've inherited, and I'm sure something came up in the past, the reason why I went to this, but if somebody moves in today, they will not get a water bill for today, May, till July. So that's 2 months. Okay? Now, the other problem with that, when somebody gets behind, well, they're already blew past their $200 deposit before they can come and make an agreement to pay. The last thing we want to do is turn somebody's water off. We want to work with everybody. We want to go to authorized agreements, but we also want to do it in a responsible way. Okay? Now, the billing system, everybody we're talking to says it don't make sense how you guys are billing because it makes it difficult for you to keep going back. When we do our electronic meters, when we push the button and download, we need to be able to say it's for the month before. What I am going to recommend, and I'm going to do some homework to verify, which we've been looking at it for 2 years, is we're going to forego a month is going to have to go away on the meters. Okay? Go ahead, Tracy, explain. How are we going to catch up again?
I can't hear her.
Hey, here you go. Here you go. Yeah, you may explain it. Because 1 month's going to have to go away, but you can explain it.
Okay, as of right now, we're behind on basically billing water, just the water usage. The trash and sewer is, well, in the sewer, if you go over the usage. So basically, we'd have to catch up, you'd be billed from May 1st to June 30th on any water that's used in that. The rest of the trash and the sewer would just
Continue.
continue as normal.
Okay, this is my issue with that. That bill is still from 2 months ago. So you would be continue as normal.
Well, the water is, the bill is the trash and the trash and sewer is not, it's a monthly expense. Every month it's the same expense. The only thing you have to use is on your water is what's the change in the bill.
So,
That's what we were discussing with Mike and the,
okay, so explain this. If somebody moves in today, are they billed for trash and sewer in 2 months?
no. But you didn't explain that one to Mike.
Yeah. So that's something we're still trying to figure out. Huh? We should
That's
what?
just not how it's set up, but yeah. But some people have been doing that. You don't know how long ago that goes back. So say for instance, Kelly, who's at least in
People can't
long
hear
term,
you.
say the long-term residents that's been here for 20, 25 years, you don't know how the billing was done back there. So they might have already been billed on current situation.
Right.
So you can't say that everybody is behind because there's no adequate records to show that. Now, the current people, since we've been there, that's how it's been billed because that's how it was turned over to us.
Correct. But if somebody gets a bill in May, it was for when? Current, past,
February.
customers,
It's 2 months back.
still 2 months back.
Well,
So that's still, I mean, and all I'm trying to get everybody to understand is we're going to have to come up with something that makes sense. And the only thing I can come up with is more than likely, we're just going to have to say, hey, at some point, some month is just going away, but nobody will feel it. Nobody will feel it. The city won't feel it. The customer won't feel it.
Is that taking the month away or making us pay 2 months?
No, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of saying we're going to pay 2 months because now we're going to ask somebody that struggles already with their water bill to pay 2 months. I'm not a fan of that. I believe, again, the city won't know or won't feel it because we're still going to be collecting a month's worth of utilities. It's just going to be what month are we collecting? We're now going to be collecting the month before, not the 2 months before.
the only thing is if the city was to shut down, they would have 1 more month or 2 more months at that time to still come in because you would still bill that customer. But we're not shutting down, so we're never going to realize that we're out that money. Because it's been a monthly bill. It's a monthly bill, whether you get billed for this month.
Now, I believe by looking at this, and again, we've been looking at this for so long, I believe by looking at this, the city will probably come out ahead by doing that. The reason why the city's going to come out ahead because we have a certain amount of renters that move in and out. Okay? We're going to be able to address that late bill a little bit quicker than them being 2 months behind and then leaving. Because once they get 2 months behind and then they wait for that other bill, now that could be $300 or $400 worth of money we're waiting for. Versus, okay, they got a $200 deposit, we're billing last month, they need to figure out that bill. We're going to help them as much as possible, but we're not going to be out there where it's $300 or $400 down the road. Does that make sense? So that's why I think the city will accumulate more money by being able to track it a little bit better like that.
Most renters, or most people, once they leave, they're not going to pay back. They're just not.
Now, with that said, we're also working on being able to turn that over to a collection agency for them to hopefully go after and get something back, which would be the same company that does the taxes. Yeah, Purdue something. So we are looking into that also. So that's just something to just know it's coming down the line because we're going to have to figure out that 2 month bill. That's been crazy for as long as I've been here to attempt to figure that out. But now that we're moving along with electronic billing, it's going to be so much quicker, so much easier. There's no reason not to be able to get that bill out a lot quicker too. And I want to urge everybody, and we have a great amount of people that's utilizing the portal, but I'd like to continue to remind people you can go to the City of Kress. go to the button that says make payment. And if you're not already registered, it's super easy to register. As soon as your bill is submitted, you get an email. You do not have to wait on the postal service. Postal service has been a struggle, but you do not have to wait on postal because you get it right then. Okay, so that's been, and then also you get to see every dollar that you spend. Anything you're billed and anything you pay is right there for you to see. It doesn't matter if you pay cash, check, you pull it from your bank, you get to see when those payments are being processed and made. So that's a great thing. Now, also, when we finish getting our electronic meters up and going, you'll be able to see your water usage when you're using your water. You know, we've had people complain, there ain't no way, I haven't used my water. Well, the problem is they can't remember 2 months before, because remember, they get billed 2 months before. So it might be near winter and they're not using water near as much because we just came out 2 months of summer and that's when they used all the water last. So that'll help with that also, a little more transparency with the billing on that part. But, you know, they're like, well, I didn't have an issue. And you pull the deal up. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. I left the water sprinkler on that day. That's why my bill's high. Now I remember. It just helps. It'll help them see when they use the water. Okay. Any other questions on that part? Okay, so yes,
They're around the water meter.
I just asked
When they put
I just asked that question. Let me see when he says they're supposed to be out here. I'll say Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, Monday or Tuesday they're supposed to be out here.
It's supposed to be next week sometime.
Yeah,
when they come back, fix that there.
yeah.
That's all I was wondering, something like that. That's
Yeah,
great.
it'll be next week between, I think Tuesday or Wednesday is what he emailed us, but
Yeah, I just asked again, and that's what they said. Anything else about that? Okay. Now, just be transparent. There was a cost to so what Mr. Durham's talking about, the company came in and they did a inventory verification that TCQ requires us to give. Okay, it's the big thing that came out of Chicago about the water, lead in the water, and shut down somewhere up there. So the state came in and said, okay, you need to provide your inventory. What do you have coming in and out of every meter? So they had to go and take a Vactron, which at some point I'd love for the city to own theirs, but it sucked out one side and it sucked out the other side. They're able to verify what's coming out of both sides of the meter. It's either PVC, was it copper, what was it? And they'll put it in a file, and then we'll be able to upload this file to a program to be able to complete our report to TCQ. Okay, and then they'll be able to check that off that we have that complete. So that's why it was very crucial to do it at the time we were doing our water. It's being cheaper. If we would have had somebody come in and do it outside of that, it'd have been a lot more expensive. So that's why we chose to go ahead and have that done. I believe that estimated cost is somewhere around $10,000 or something is what that cost to get that done. But we did participate in that. So, but they are coming back to get that all that dirt and everything perfected. Okay. Okay, next thing, update on financial audit for 2016, 2023. Real excited. I believe, Tracy, if I'm not wrong, we just got an email as we was walking to this meeting. Got the email for the,
we got confirmation of 2016 being completed.
so,
They're moving forward on the other one. They have all the, they have major documents. Now they just go through and then they give us a list of what they want us to go back to our files and hopefully
so 2016 is, we should have that in our hands next weekish. Because they're off, well, the week after next, because they're going to be off at some seminars the next week. But the week after that, they feel like they'll have 2016. Now, I will say, nobody rush up to ask for us to publish that because we cannot publish that at this point. There's still an ongoing investigation, so that will not be open to public until the other investigation is closed. Okay, so I will make that real clear. But 2016 is finally done, and then we'll get 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 moving forward, and 23. So they'll get. Yeah.
We're working on all years to bring us current, so I think that would be 24.
23.
Back.
23 back.
23.
Yeah. 24, they'll start that as a separate one. That's not what we.
That was not in the bid.
Yes, that was not in the bid. But going forward, we should still be at the $5,000 a year. But that was in the original bid of them starting and getting caught up. So what we're working on right now, getting them caught up, is that up through 23. Any questions on that?
Did you say it was $5,000 per year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, which is great.
Yes.
Now, we did, well, I have some questions for you later.
Okay.
Anyways, anything else on that? Any other questions on that? Elaine, we had in one of the packets, it showed that they paid for an audit in 2018. It shows that y'all had submitted, and the audit there was an audit, and they had paid to get it started.
I don't remember. I'd have to.
Okay. We found the contract, but we just don't see nothing that happened after that. Okay, I wasn't sure if that jogged your memory. Does that jog your memory at all? Did we get our money back?
I would have to check to see if it was even written out and paid for. I know that just came in light to you guys today, but I'm not verified.
Yeah, that's something that just came up. So I was just thinking maybe there's already an audit out there. So because we came across those documents.
I do remember that.
Because in the minutes it stated that the money was already paid. We were just going to look through to see if we could find who it was written out to see if we were out of that. Okay, we'll check that out. Other than that, any other questions on the financial audit? After we get permission, they will all be uploaded on our website for everybody to be able to view and see. And then from now on, we hope those are done in a more efficient manner and in a timely manner. But definitely a lot of work that goes into that. Tracy, we greatly appreciate all the work you put into that. You was up there many hours, send them a lot of information, and we do appreciate it. What? We didn't get her a raise.
I shouldn't even get paid.
Oh! Okay. I was just making sure.
Give her 100% increase.
All righty. Other than that, is there any other considered items? I am still looking at the dumpster. We definitely have a need for a dump trailer. I'm just trying to figure out what the car business is doing before we attempt to think about buying a vehicle, to see which way that's going to go before we make that decision. But we definitely need to start looking at some equipment for the city. But is there anything else anybody would like? And I do want to give Glenda a huge prop on this siren. She asked several times, how's that coming? How's that coming? So she definitely kept it on the table and in front of us. So great job there, and appreciate you for that, ma'am. Do we have anything else that we want to attempt to add to the agenda anytime soon? Yes, sir. Huh?
Fireworks.
Okay. For the,
Would you like to do that?
June, July, yeah, you're right. Great. Okay, so we'll make sure we add fireworks for July, right?
How's that coming along? It hadn't been down that way. But,
The rodeo ground?
mm-hmm,
They're keeping it looking great. And the baseball field thing?
mm-hmm.
Do they use it?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, a lot. And so we've gotten all those tires out of there. We got everything in the back moved. Now we are fixing to put some barriers, be able to drive back there. The school has had to shut off access going to the bonfire. They did give us a key, the city. If somebody wants to go, we will definitely know who they are. We'll verify that they're delivering the right items there. They'll have to check it out with the city, or they can go to the school. You have a choice. You either go to school and pick up the key, or you can come by the city and pick up the key. The school does not want to limit the ability to take wood over there, but they don't want to be responsible for a bunch of tires and mattresses. So the city did go pick up the mattresses that was dropped off there and the tires. And well, did we get the tires yet?
I believe he used the backhoe to go get the tires.
Yeah.
Not our skid steer.
Huh?
Not our skid steer, back.
Okay. So Tracy said that for a reason, but I just want to make it clear. Some of the community don't realize that when they see a skid steer or a white Chevy pickup pulling a trailer, those items belong personally to Tracy and I. They don't belong to the city. Some people feel that we were using equipment. Well, we were using equipment, but we were doing it for the best of the city. At some point, be happy that people are helping instead of finding a way to poke the bear. That's what it comes down to. But hopefully more people that choose to do that will reflect in the mirror and decide they want to be a part of change and not that part. But we did get those. I do believe we did get those tires moved, but I need to drive by there and see, because we do have a big pile of them that we're fixing to haul off. I believe Plainview now lets us take 6 tires a day. It'll take a while, but 6 tires a day at $2 a tire is what David was telling me. So we'll attempt to get those taken where it needs to go. But if anybody sees anybody dumping tires, remember, this is your community. Please report it. Take a picture and report it. Because obviously that individual has no respect for your community.
What about down on 788? That where they were dumping?
Well, funny about that too. I had a good conversation. I had somebody from TCQ reached out to me, and I found out that she was part of dumping. So I said, hey, let me take my personal hat off and let me talk to you as a mayor. Since you're in charge of dumping, can you please get with Jonathan, which is in the Amarillo office, because we got the Amarillo office and we got the Lubbock office helping us, because the reason why we have the Amarillo office, because City of Kress is in the Amarillo department. It breaks off pretty much at the county line.
For the district.
Yeah. So they handle that. So, but the wells sit in Hale County, so that goes to the other direction. So I said, I've sent pictures, I've sent everything. She goes, well, I heard about that. Let me see, I'll check on it. So I'm waiting for that call back. That call took place Friday, I believe, Friday. So I keep it in front of everybody. But at some point, the state of Texas needs to use some resources to help us figure it out. I told her, like I told Jonathan, if that ground gets contaminated and contaminates 2 wells, that could kill the city of Kress. Because people don't realize how much a well costs. Well costs almost anywhere between $250,000 and $300,000 is how I understand it. Because both of them are pretty much lined up, so I feel they'd be in the same vein. So if you hurt one of them, you hurt the other one. I did reach out to the county commissioner in Hell County. He stated that he did some research, and the one thing I'm disappointed in is they haven't been collecting taxes for anybody on that piece of land. That piece of land shows ID 0. Now, when I talked to TxDOT, they said, Johnny, I reviewed the overhead aerial when we did that crossover. That pit was already there. So nobody can figure out who owns the property. Now, if they figure out who owns the property, they can hold the person accountable. Until they can figure out who owns the property, nobody is willing to hold anybody accountable. Now, again, I ask if anybody sees anybody dumping there, please take a picture. That's still your water that's coming to the community. So, as of Friday, we're still pushing that envelope. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Atterbury, we probably, our next neighbor both,
Yeah, well,
he made that little progress, but I think what the last 3 weeks.
he has made some progress. Not enough. Not enough. I have offered. I'm sure you've seen my equipment over there. Let him use it. He has done. If he did as good of a job making progress as he has communicating, it'd all be great. He does a great job communicating. He's just not following through and making the big push that we need to see. So I did, I started to do it when I walked in, and I could not get Facebook to act right, so I'll finish it when I get out. But the last Thursday of the month is when Texas Community Group will come through and do their inspection. They don't know the Joneses, they don't know the Smiths, they don't know nobody. So they'll come through with a fresh eye in a very helpful way and send out letters to people that need to get those letters. So that should be plenty of time for people to get their places cleaned up. And again, I've given them the leeway. If they send out a letter, somebody calls them because they have a 10-day letter, and somebody says, hey, I'm out of town, or I'll be out of town, I need another week, I need one more weekend, give it to them. You know, that's fine. But at some point, that is going to run very, very, very slow. We haven't thrown nobody in jail. And all the new ordinance we came up with, we ain't thrown nobody in jail. We haven't, just beat them up with a bunch of citations. But most of the community is coming along very well. A lot of them are holding themselves accountable. And that's a great thing. And that's all we're looking for. We don't want nobody to be in trouble. We don't want nothing. All we want to do is ask them to be a good neighbor, clean the properties up, and continue to make it look good. So we're going to continue to work on that, and I'm going to let the last official be the official.
The difference between somebody's cleaning and somebody else's cleaning up and long way apart.
Well, it is. Luckily, Texas Community Group has a legal definition of what it needs to be. So when they take the pictures and they send it out. So keep in mind, the city cannot go and clean something up until we have an authorization to do that. So once we get that authorization is good for a year. A lot of the properties fell off, so we didn't want to push and move forward on that. That's why I'm requesting them to come through, give us a new list that's good for a year, and continue to move forward that way. But once they get that, we can go in there and, if it's over this much, we'll take a picture, we document it, and we'll clean it up, and we'll send them a bill. Now, some of them either going to get a citation or they're going to get a bill. If they own the house, we can send them a bill. If they're a renter, well, they're going to see citation. Does everybody understand why? Because if they own the house, we can attach the bill to the property. And that will encourage, excuse me? Well, yeah, if it's homestead, that's a different situation too, because you cannot attach a property lien on a homestead. So they can own the property, but if it's homesteaded, they'll be receiving citations also. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. But we do have several things in place to encourage people to do the right thing. I hope they just choose, and I'd say 90% of the community is choosing to do the right thing. I bet you after we brought that ordinance out, we probably, per ratio in West Texas, we probably sold more lawnmowers to Kress, Texas residents than any other little city. But
I agree 100%. A lot of people have done a great job. They've done a good job. But there's about 2 or 3%. No matter how many times we've tried to help, how many times we've called, how many times we've asked, haven't done much anything. And Atterbury is one of them, because I know what you did for them, finding the guy last year.
Yep.
And he said he was going to take care of it, and they're over there 5 foot tall again, and they're going to go to see.
I agree. And I am concerned about that property because they did tear up some of their equipment. So I got to figure out how to address that property a little bit different, because I don't want to take our brand new equipment over there and start shredding.
Right.
But yeah, I just got to figure out the legalities of spraying somebody else's property. But we'll dot our I's and cross our T's before we do something like that. Okay, anything else? So now I've only got one thing, and it was a leaving city council member to add to the agenda for next month. Do we have anything else from anybody else? Okay. All righty. Other than that, I mean, of course, y'all feel free to give me a call, and we can always add something throughout the month. But other than that, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? All right, Sarah motions to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I got a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? All right, ayes have it.